Hello, friends. Welcome back for learning new series of learning Python. It is the continuation of the same program which we are learned so far. So today in Python we are going to learn the basic parts and the foundation of any programming language called as a data type, what are variables, what are data types, what are the comments, how do we know. Basically in Python is very enriched, features are available. You don't need to explicitly define any data type, which is by default it is a data types are the part of the classes. So in this particular video, let's understand what are the variables. So let me quickly talk about what are the variables, but it is basically very helpful for those who have starting their career in a programming language, and the one who have already have the knowledge of the other programming language is very easy for them to understand what are the variables. So basically the variables are those which stores the value, which stores the data for temporarily, and these variables basically help us to will be used in your program for any particular calculations, right? So you need a space, you need a container, you need a place, you need a one sort of a memory which will be required for your calculation during your program. That is what called as a variables. So you can define your variable, so I can say it is a temporarily storage storage storage. See, this variable you can store any different types of data type, different types of value, whether it is your integer value, whether it is your string or text values. You can store your any complex values. You can store your what I can say is your floating value like 10, 13.25, 20.34, anything, or you can store your big strings. So this particular variable, though it is takes a very minimal memory space in your computer or in your server during your program or your session, this is very helpful while doing any sort of a calculation or processing any particular data. So hope you understand what is the variable. I'll, yeah, so it's a temporarily storage area for holding any particular value. Now, so every variable basically associated with a data type. So I can say every variable, it's associated with some data type. When I say data type, means a type of data which a variable can store. So we have so basically Python supports different data types like integer, float, whether it is a string or whether it is a boolean value, right? So let's see how do we just with an example we'll come to know. Basically these are the these data types are basically a part of the classes already defined in the Python. So just with an example, let's go back to our ID for Python, and if I say yeah, you can take any variable, not the reserved word, not the keywords which are defined as a reserved word. You can take any alphabet to take it as a variable. So mostly in programming language we used to take I, K, R sometimes, S sometimes. So mostly we used to take I as a variable name, or P represent as a parameter. So we are not defining any parameter over here, but we'll talk about the I. Suppose, see here, you don't need to explicitly define what data type you are taking this data. Unlike any other program in PLSQL, we need to say it's a number, it's a character, or it's a varchar 2. But here in Python, you just need to say I equal to 10. If I'll say, automatically it will understand it is the integer data type. How do we confirm? Let's see. So very simple. We just say print, and there is a one method is already been defined called as a type. In this type, you can just print I. Okay. and just run it, you can understand what kind of data type the value I, the variable I basically is stored. So you can see here it talks about that class int. So it is a int variable. Now let's check about another variable. As I said, like we have a different data types, right? We have a int, we have a float, right? Let's check. If I say 10.34, right? Let's see what is the variable type, a float to a float variable type, right? Now if I say just like it's like if I say false, right? False or basically it talks about the boolean, right? Bool, right? Which bool basically represents the boolean data type, true or false, right? I'll say true, so automatically it will take, it's a boolean data type. Now just for example, if I'll say any text like hello world, right? Hello world. Hello world, and like say I'll say it will talk about this is a string data type. So we don't need to explicitly define what data type it is, but automatically it takes. But yes, the important thing is, like suppose you wanted to convert from one data type to another data type, is called as a casting. So suppose sometimes you wanted to convert from 3 4 5 into a which basically you put it into a code, then it will treat it as a string. Just for an example, I'll say, 1 2 3 4 5. Now it is a string, not the not the number, not the integer data type, right? Now if you want to convert it into a integer, then you have to use uh, casting, right, to convert this character into a number. So and that's what. So there you can basically do. Just for an example, I'll show you. So we true false you understood, right? So the next thing is here in Python. Suppose you would like to, mostly in our programming language, in any programming language, we used to give the comment. Maybe in the future when you are revisiting your code, you need to come to know like how do we, what is the piece of code is basically used for. Then the comment plays a very very vital role in any programming language to tell you like this particular piece of code or the block of code is used for such purpose, right? So in Python we can use the hashtag and say this this program is for data type, right? Data types. So you can see now this is a one single line. How if I have to do the comment on a multiple line, then what you can use is you can say, you can just use three quote and say, and you can write whatever you want to write, um, this will help to understand the and, different data types in Python, right? So you can use the triple quote if you have more number of lines. You can use it in a comment, right? So then you can use this like this. 30, you can just print it. It's easy, right? So yeah, it's an int class. So we'll basically the purpose of this video was to just to tell you what are the variables, what are the data types which Python supports. You can create your own data type by using by creating a class. So that we will talk in later videos and all. But this point of time, the basic understanding is if you create any value, so automatically Python will take it understand what kind of data type this particular variable is associated with, and you can come to know by just using this particular method called as a type to know about the data type of that variable. And what are the comment. So comment basically, as I have already explained, like it is help to tell you the purpose of this particular block or code which of the programming which you have done. So you have a single line comment and you have a multiple line comment by using the hash or triple quote, right? So that will help you out to understand this basically. Now, we'll understand more about Python in our slowly with different steps. Maybe we'll talk about the collection in our next videos, where we'll understand tuples, sets, list, and dictionary. So for the time being, it is fine today. We'll understand more about Python in next sessions. Thank you so much.